Okay, so we are recording. So if any of your people are not here today, you can let them watch it through the Teams later, because we've got a lot of good, important information to go over today. I want to start off with just for thanking you for your time today to come on here and be with me. Try to make it easier when I can so you guys don't have to leave your schools. And this is just some good information that needs to be recorded so you could watch later if you need to. If you have any questions, feel free to email me as well or put it in the chat as we go. First thing I want to talk about here is just, make sure if you're especially a Title I school that you're having your meetings on communicating with families, to train your staff how to communicate effectively with families. And there's lots of ways that we're communicating. We have several apps that we use, Remind, and we also use Schoology. We're doing our newsletters and our calendars. We're doing our parent meetings, quarterly or monthly or bi-monthly, at different schools. We're doing our book fairs. We do, the county's doing some family event nights, and we do our parent academy at the end of the year. So we're doing that lots of ways, but we want to make sure that our staff is trained to communicate, and that's more with like our Remind and our Schoology, things like that, and then with our school-wide agendas and our meetings that we have with families, and then our family newsletters and calendars for our school events, but also ways that we're communicating through parent-teacher conferences. We do our phone logs. So just make sure that you're documenting those ways that you're communicating with families and have that documentation, especially if you're Title I school, to be able to prove that you are communicating with families, and then having meetings school-wide with your staff on ways that your school communicates with families. So just always keep that in your back of your mind when you're conducting meetings with your staffs, and talk about some ways that you can communicate effectively with families. Next thing on here is the policy review. I did send you guys if you go on our website under the Title I family engagement, community agendas, or the Title I teacher coach agendas. I did put the agenda for today on there on the website as well, so that's up in there. But we're going to talk about our family engagement policy. I'm going to share my screen and pull that up. We're going to look at the district and a template of a school one. You guys may have your own school ones, but I do have a template that some schools are using to go by as well, but just to give you an idea of ways that you can do that. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. If someone could just unmute real quick and let me know that they can see the school family engagement policy.
I can see that.
Or comment in the chat. Can you guys see that? I have my volume down, so I don't know if anyone said anything or not.
No, I only see the people. The document's gone. There you go.
Okay.
It's back. Yeah.
All right, good deal. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start with the school family engagement policy. This is just a template from the state. Some of you guys are using this one. Some of you have your own family engagement policy, and that's fine. This is just one that's created for us that we can use, and some schools are using it. So it goes through general expectations for families. You put the name of the school here, and then it goes through the bylaws for Title I Part A and how we're communicating with families and involving parents in our family engagement policies. And then it has some questions. As you go down through here, you'll see in certain parts, you'll have to put the school's name. you'll have to put, it will ask some of these ask questions, and you have to put your own school's actions and answers there, and it will tell you to do that. So if you want to use this one, it's available to use, and some of you are. Just make sure you're answering all the questions and going through that process the way that it is started. If you're not using this one and you're using your own, I've got a checklist here of things that we just need to make sure that is being answered. And let me go back up here. So this is from the State Department, and this is the actual checklist for your family engagement policy to check off to make sure that these things are in your policy, because these are the things that they'll be looking for. So, at the top there, it says the policy must be developed jointly and agreed upon by legal guardians of Title I children. So especially if you're a Title I school, you want to make sure that you're involving your parents of these students and letting them have feedback on your plan. And all schools need to be doing that, not just Title I. And then written in an understandable format and the language that guardians can understand, or parents and families. And then make sure it's distributed to all of the students, whether you're Title I or not, and then made available to the local community and updated periodically. So, this month through February and March, you need to have a meeting at your school level, invite your families in, go over the school plan, and let parents and families provide feedback on that plan. Have your meeting with agenda sign-in sheet and minutes, and an invitation that you sent that out to parents to come. And so make sure you have all that documentation, and then go over the school plan and the district plan, the county plan as well. And if there's any feedback on that from your parents, you would just email that to me. So in your meeting with the school level meeting, you'll look at both plans and provide in the minutes if there's any feedback on either plan and what that feedback was. And that's where I'll be able to see if there's anything for the district that I need to change. And then you can also email me separately to let me know as well, but make sure you put that in your minutes. But as you see down through here, there's a checklist of components. The policy describes how families will be involved in planning, review, and improvement of the school's family engagement policy. And like I said, February, March, we need to do the school level one. And then in April, you need to meet with your leadership team and actually revise the plan based on the family feedback and any things that you see need to be updated or changed in the plan. So you want to go through this checklist, especially if you're a Title I school, make sure that you're complying with all these questions. I won't read through all those today, but you can look through there. And if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know, and we will I'll be happy to help you with it and support you and answer those questions. So just make sure that whether you're using the format of the school plan that I showed you, or you're using your own, that you're answering all these questions on this checklist, because that's what they'll use to check off for your plan for each school from the State Department. So make sure you're looking at this checklist and have that somewhere where you'll be able to find it. It's also on our website under forms. So we looked at the school one. I want to now look at the district one real quick. Not much has changed on there. So as we go through here, it's not coming up. Let me try that again. It's taking a second to come up, but well, it was coming up. Okay, let's just skip that for a second. We'll come back to it. I want to go to if you're a Title I school, you also have a family school compact that you have to look at and review and send out to students at the beginning of the year. The parents have to sign it. And it's just a compact stating that the school will work with the family with their Title I Part A services, and make sure parents are part of that process of understanding what Title I is and developing a family engagement policy and supporting our families in any situations or educational processes for their students that we may need. So this is the template that we use. And there's a note there at the top that just lets you know that every school that's receiving those Title I Fund Part A's has to have this, and it is required to do to provide to parents for them to have information and understand the process. And then you'll do the actual compact, the school sign their name, and you'll have the school year here. And then as you go down through here, it's just asking some questions of ways that you're supporting parents, and how we are addressing those Title I needs. So it's self-explanatory. Again, if you have questions, you can let me know. But then there's family responsibilities here, what the families will do their part to ensure their support for their child's learning. And it goes through some things. So it kind of makes them accountable as well, that they will provide that support to their students and help the teachers in the school together to work together to support their students' educational processes. And then just additional responsibilities here, but again, the name of the school, and just that we're going to involve parents in the planning and review and implement of the school's policy, the compact, and the family engagement policy. So providing those services, also just any support services. We're providing meetings with the parents to educate them on various topics, and we are looking at student performance in their academic processes and sharing that information along the way with families to keep them up to date with their child's progress throughout the school year. And so you can just see those other responsibilities. And then there's a place down here at the bottom for the school and the parent and the student to all sign and date. And those have to be returned. Title I just has to do this part. But it's something good for all schools to kind of be looking at to see how Title I works, and to be able to share that information with families if you're not a Title I school, but they would ask maybe questions of how that works and what it is. There's some good information here and support there. So all of our Title I schools have to do this at the beginning of the year, and we have to get, they want 100% return to make sure everyone's on the same page. So we try to get as close to that percentage as possible. Let me see if I can get the family engagement one. If not, I'll go to the website here real quick. For some reason, it's not wanting to come up. Okay, so this is our countywide family engagement policy. And again, it's going to go through those general expectations, policies, and laws for Title I Part A, and what is Title I, how we're supporting parents in the Title I processes. Basically, that whole first section is just discussing that information. And it tells you, a definition of family engagement, what it is. It's two-way communication and meaningful communication, and will participate actively in some way with involving student academic learning and other student-related activities, including and ensuring these things here. And it's talking about, you're just going to be an integral role in assisting child's learning. The families are, and they're encouraged to actively be involved and come to those family meetings that we offer to get information, along with understanding their students' educational processes and assessments to be able to support them along the way with that. We put in here the student attendance policy that Mrs. Queen gave us for the information on that. So I'll be getting with her just to make sure we need to update anything for next school year differently. There is some information on the help desk. You might want to include this in your plans too, because all parents need to know how to access help with the technology department if they're having issues with the program or Schoology or the Remind app, or just some technical issue with the computer at home. They can use this help desk number to call and get help and know when and how they can do that. This part 2 here is just a description of how this will implement district-wide family engagement components. And so it talks about the different ways that we're going to provide engagement for families from the LEA, which is the Wayne County Board of Education. So there's different categories there of how we're going to provide different assistance through webinars and seminars and meetings and technology, just different ways that we're communicating and how we're helping families and supporting them with their students. And then how we're going to coordinate events, especially with early childhood. We have Jason Cox as our pre-K coordinator, and we work closely with him to make sure students are getting enrolled in a proper time frame so they're ready to start kindergarten and pre-K, and how we support that. And then next section here is just talking about how we provide surveys sent home to parents. If you're a Title I school especially, we do a Title I survey that goes out in October, November, and it provides us feedback for those Title I parents of how we can better support them and if they can volunteer and how often they can volunteer, things like that, and what they would like to see for support and help. So how we're doing that and spreading that information to parents. And then as you go on down through here, ways that we're providing assistance at the schools for students with Title I services. And you can see the different things that we do there. And as you go on down through, it's just talking about, again, the family engagement policy and early childhood and how we're blending and braiding those funds and working with everyone in special education to combine all these services to support students. And then ways that we're communicating with families. You see those list of ways there: our website, our newsletters, calendars, Schoology, the individual school websites, the school's newsletters, the school calendars, 365 email from office, social media platforms. We have a county YouTube page. A lot of the schools have Facebook page and Remind app that they use. We'll try to get a list of what schools are using what. Kara and I was working on that last year and we didn't get to finish it, but we'll try to get updated of what schools are using to communicate with families to put on our website. And then just the adoption part at the last is just saying that we agree to work with families on the Title I Part A programs, evidence through this written documentation of this policy. So, and it's signed by our Director of Federal Programs, Mary Lou Perry, and we have to do it at the beginning of every school year. So, like I said, go through the school plan and this plan with your families at your school and provide any feedback for both plans in your minutes, your meeting minutes, and if there's something specific for the district plan, bring that back to me through an email also. A couple other things I wanted to go through. Events that's coming up. We have 2 March events coming up for parents. It's family engagement evenings. If you can see the flyer, hopefully here on the screen. We've got 2 nights set up. We've been doing them the last 2 we had one last year and one at the beginning of this school year. We had them at Spring Valley and Tulsa, tried to get each end of the county. We wasn't having any turnout at Spring Valley, so we thought maybe we'd try Wayne High School this time. Tulsa always has a pretty good crowd, so we kept that one, but we switched the one from Spring Valley to Wayne to see if that may make a little bit better turnout for our parents. But please make this known. I have spoken with both principals and set up these times and dates, and we have Kelly Arthur and Rhonda O'Neill, our county ELA and math specialists, that's going to be discussing different topics with parents on assessment prep, getting ready for these tests, and how we can prepare, how they can help prepare students at home to be prepared to take those assessments and what kinds of assessments there are. And then also the writing part is a big process and new last year that we did it a little differently. And so we want to cover some of those writing skills as well. So as you can see, we have Wayne High School Tuesday, March 4th from 5 to 7 in the library, and Tulsa High School Library Thursday, March 6th from 5 to 7. It is for grades pre-K through 12. Both ladies will be presenting various topics for all grade levels to help support in different areas. And you can see Mrs. O'Neill, the ELA specialist, will be talking about ready to write. And then Kelly Arthur talking about test scores and how to support your learner at home. So some good information. We'll have those 2 family nights, and all families from the county, anyone can come and attend these meetings. and get this information and ask questions pertaining to these topics. So make sure that you put those flyers in your schools, give them out to the students, make sure that we are promoting this as much as possible so we can get attendance for this. Would love to see you guys there. If you can come to one of those nights and help support with these things, that would be excellent as well. So those are going on. And then one other thing that we are doing that I want to mention is Kara Porter is going to be doing a webinar workshop on February the 27th. And that will be at 5 o'clock, and it's going to be a Teams meeting. The link to the Teams call will be on the county website the day of, and they'll be able to log in right before the meeting. They'll have the link set up to where it will open right before the meeting so parents can log in. But she's going to be discussing, it'll be her and I together, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the website, our county website, and under the family and student section of the website, things that they can find there and how to navigate through that website. And then Kara will be talking about things for Schoology, how to update information for parents with information for Schoology. So we'll have those two things. And Kara has sent an agenda I'll send to you all too, of things that we're going to be discussing. And so you can kind of see, she's going to discuss, some people still, especially grandparents and things like that, how to create their parent account and be able to log into their student access and all that thing. And then different settings, the things they can change, and how to navigate through that portal and any updates and changes that's been made here lately. So lots of great information for that evening on February the 27th at 5 o'clock. Again, they'll just go to the website to log in. If you go to the website under menu, this is a section that I will be discussing with them. We have lots of information here under families and students. So I'll be able to talk to them how to volunteer, about the family engagement policy, the strategic plan, our right to know letter, different things about absences, and then some different wellness things and tips there for health and information on that. And so there's lots of good information here that a lot of parents don't know is here. Plus also when you go into the news and the events calendar here for the county of what's coming up. So I want to be able just to show parents that those things are there and how to find those easily. So those will be some other topics that we will be discussing. I'm going to share the screen here. Does anybody have any questions? We're also still looking at our parent academy for the end of the year, looking into what we think is relevant topics. If you have any suggestions on that, because hopefully when we meet next month, that one will probably be in person. We're going to have Nikki meeting with parents to talk about data and assessments that are coming up and how to navigate that parent portal and things like that for the parents. And then Title I, we'll be doing some other things for our meeting. But we would like for you guys to be thinking of relevant topics that you think would be really good for us to discuss for our Parent Academy coming up in May. And hopefully by the end of April, we'll have a topic and what we're going to exactly be doing for that academy, so we can get that word out and spread that information out to parents and have a good turnout for that. So that's all I have for today. If you guys have anything or any information, just reach out to me, email me, and I will let you guys go. Have a good evening. Thank you.
4733.
Hey, Tony, will you send me that real quick so I can try to get it ordered?
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.